Welcome back to Porsche, and yes, we are racing. We're in San Francisco on our way to Thunderhill Raceway. Anyway, enough of all that jazz. Off to the races. So here we are at Thunderhill, and this is the closest we're going to get to the winner's podium all weekend. So let's take a wander around the paddock and see what other shitboxes people have brought along. And you drove the wheels off it?
I drove the wheels off it, apparently.
Good man.
And then I bedded the brakes and the best up good.
I like the colour coded HT links. Yeah. Nice.
It actually looks better with silver wheels.
Yeah.
Not the normal pink ones.
Alright, we're ready, apparently, nearly. We have to put a new gasket on the rocker cover, but other than that, we're good to go. We're off to tech. So we passed tech and now we're doing the BS inspection. Rick Morris, how do you replace a rocker cover gasket?
Remove rocker cover, remove existing gasket, put this one in, reinstall gasket, tighten down.
Should we put rocker cover back on?
Got it?
Put rocker cover back on. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Can you do a tutorial video for me?
Yeah. YouTube video.
Off he goes. Well, an eventful day so far. We had Dominic out first, all four wheels off the track, so he had to come into the sin bin. Then we had to go to the sin bin again because he wasn't out the car when we were refueling it. James went out, threw up, came in, cleared all that mess up. Rick went out and very much out of character, he spun, so we were back in the sin bin again, and we had to do some silly prank which involved sticking Taylor Swift posters to the car. I had to go out with those fixed, and one of them flew off right in my face just as we were going into the corner, so I spun off as well. We've had a 45-minute break to cool down. Quickest lap so far is James, despite the vomit, and I'm closely behind him. Start finish straight is good and long, and then you're coming into turn 1, which is relatively quick, so we were reaching about 120 by the end of the straight, breaking down to about 80 for turn 1. Turn 2 is my least favourite kind of corner, the long sweeping carousel. Turn 3 to 4, basically you're just coming from the left hand side of the circuit to the right to get the apex for turn 4, which is fairly sharp, and then you're uphill to the bus stop. It's a blind apex and a fairly sharp left turn before you kind of descend down the hill in a sweeping right. Short straight before a left hand 90 degree into what, although there's turn 7, is kind of just a king, so you're flat out from turn 6 all the way through to turn 8. Up the hill to turn 9, again blind crest, and it's not quite as straight as a little right hand kink as you can see, and into the back straight there down to turn 10. Turn 10 not quite a 90 degree, but then you're braking hard to go into turn 11 before the S's, which effectively are turn 12 and 13. Powering through those up into 5th under the bridge, hit the brakes hard for a very sharp right hand, I want to say like 120 degree bend, and then back on the power for the last corner, turn 15, back onto the main straight. day one. Car ran really well. Lots of grunt. Interesting. I approached the circuit with the Ricky Booby method of not using gears to get high revs through the corners, particularly because of that power that I've just talked about. So I never went below 4th gear around the whole circuit. Even that really tight, blind right-hander, left-hander, whatever it is, at the top of the little bump, there was no point in changing down to 3rd. So one of the boys was changing down to 2nd originally. But there was just no point, because you're basically then flowing downhill. You're going to have to snatch the next gear pretty quickly. So just let the car kind of coast over the top and down. And so to the next day, and it's all changed. We are bleeding brakes. Or just bleeding useless, I don't know. You ready to do some early morning pumpy?
Pumpy, baby. I'm ready to pumpy.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, we're done. Wrong side, mate. What? Wrong side? You're driving in that side?
So today, in infinite wisdom, Lemons have decided to reverse the track. So we're going round clockwise as opposed to anti-clockwise, which should be fun because that means the little that I learned yesterday is of no use whatsoever. Car was running rough, so we brought it in and found that cylinder number 1 and 8, the exhaust was way cooler than all the others, so we're thinking we might have a spark problem again. We had one crack at Sonoma. Yes folks, I erred on the side of caution, brought the car in, ran him rough. Turned out that the HT lead, the ignition lead, had actually burnt itself out on the exhaust manifold, so we were running on 7 cylinders at best. Then I think David took it out, having fixed that, and he did pretty much full stint. Always difficult to tell when Captain Slowsworth is driving as to whether the car's performing or not, because he's so slow. Dominic went out next and he wasn't happy with it either, so he brought it back in and we started checking spark and all kinds of stuff. Some of the distributor leads were a little maybe not quite on properly, we weren't sure, didn't seem to be getting a regular strong spark. So at the end of the day we had like, I don't know, maybe 2 hours, hour and a half to go, and we decided to pack up early. All in all, fun weekend, great circuit, I have to say. If you ever get the chance to drive Thunderhill in Willows, California, thoroughly recommend it. We did I think it's the western circuit, it's about 3 miles. There's another 2-mile circuit underneath it, and sometimes they run the full 5 miles. In summary, with the car, when it was running well, it ran well. I mean, really well. Really nice to drive. And power steering, yes, that's a point. You may be aware that we installed electric power steering, and David had it turned up. Well, actually it wasn't to the max, but when I got in it, I didn't like it, I have to be honest. There was so little feel. I mean, it was a lot less effort than before, for sure. Anyway, we dialed it back a bit for my second session, and it was a lot better, but apparently we were right on the, like the on-off almost, because you can turn it off completely. So when he got it in, it was intermittently disappearing altogether, which is a bit disconcerting. So we're going to have to tweak that a little bit for sure, get it just right. Young James set the fastest lap, I wasn't far behind him, Rick likewise, and then the other two. From me, for a personal point of view, for a racing weekend, a little bit disappointing. Drove all the way up there, obviously, or flew up there, drove up there, drove all the way back. A lot of time and effort for about, I don't know, less than an hour on the circuit probably. So yeah, we did come to the conclusion, I think, that our next race will be a proper full-on 24-hour race. High Plains, which we've driven before, in the Colorado High Plains. Great circuit again, lots of undulation, which always makes it interesting. And yeah, pucker 24-hour race, noon till noon. So we've got a lot of prep to do before we get there, though. Apart from anything else, we've got to work out what the kind of misfire running rough thing is. I suggested to Michael that it might be the coil, because the spark seemed weak and intermittent, and he said that's a possibility. Anyway, obviously he's going to diagnose that. Michael will be coming to High Plains, and therefore we'll need to sort out the whole headroom issue, max headroom, with the roll cage. So we've got to take the driver's seat out, see if we can modify the seat frame itself to lower that, see if we drop that whole floor pan a couple of inches like I suggested in the last video. A lot of work to be done. If I'm down there at IDR in Phoenix helping with any of that, obviously I will do a video. Otherwise I'll just give you a quick update on the next race video before we go. We were pretty good in terms of taking notes of various temperatures, etc. throughout the weekend. Yeah, we tested the tyre temperature across the whole tread, you know, inside, middle, outside. The disc temperature, the brake disc temperature. What else? Oh yeah, and then when we had the misfire, we were seeing which cylinders were running hotter than others, and it was an alarming difference, some between like 700 degrees Fahrenheit and 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So we have data. We do not have telemetry, but we have data. Almost professional. Well, Slowsworth likes his spreadsheets. Got to keep him happy. Now he's captain. I'm now Vice Admiral, and Ricky Booby's Admiral, obviously, although he should probably be in charge of the Vice. He's more experienced with that. Not sure how I missed videoing James throughout the entire weekend. You probably didn't want to see the vomit, and just didn't catch him. Oh, I think he was pushing a car into the... So, as always, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it when you tune in. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, obviously. If you haven't subscribed already, do so now down here somewhere and catch up the update and the next race and everything else. And of course, encourage others to watch my lunacy.